What's poppin', fam? Welcome to Don't Touch My Mindset, a podcast that is designed to uplift, inspire, and motivate you, and most importantly, share tools to help you protect that mindset. And we're back. Hello. Yo, I am amped. I'm feeling good. I'm so happy to be here. I'm your host, Jay Chase. Welcome back. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button, follow, rate, review. If anything resonates from this episode, please share it with a friend. It truly helps the show grow. I love you guys. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This week, we got a hometown hero. I am based in Columbia, Missouri. And that's the middle of the map, middle of the United States. I tapped in with a local recording artist here. Her name's Hana. And just super interesting story. Really dive into some good things on grief and dreams and ambitions and cultivating that relationship with who you're going to be. So please check the show notes, connect with us. Please, if you haven't checked out, we got hoodies. Hit the website, don'ttouchmymindset.com, and check out the community. We are hosting live Zooms. We are building the best versions of ourselves to operate from truest and highest self always, where we are learning how to stay focused, how to stay inspired, how to stay connected, and not let anyone touch our mindset. It's truly been a beautiful journey. Just to witness the growth in me and the people around me and the things that I'm attracting in my life. So extremely grateful, super happy. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. We are back on Mindset Day with the new mindset. I love you guys. Thank you. What's poppin', fam? What's poppin'? Dude, I am super excited. I am here with Hana. Is it Hana?
Hana, yeah.
Hana. How do you say your last name?
It's Canhasi, or you can say Canhasi. People say it both ways. I honestly don't know the proper way to say it.
Wow.
Canhasi, yeah.
Well, welcome, Hana. I honestly just kind of want to dive right into it. Introductions. Who are you? What do you do? What do you offer? Tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Hey guys. My name is Hana. Obviously, we said that. I am a singer. I write music. I'm also a biological engineer during the day, which is fun. It's pretty much. I'm from Kosovo. My family came to the United States in 1999, and I've grown up in Colombia, and a little bit about me.
Yeah, there it is. Well, we're going to really get to know you. I'm excited. That you're here. First question. Now, if we take away the titles, the labels, the successes, the degrees, the failures, the trials, the tribulations, who are you and why are you here?
That's a good question. We're getting deep.
Right off the bat.
First question. I like to kind of, I know you're not supposed to kind of define yourself by like the relationships in your life, but I look at myself like as a daughter, as a sister, as, I think just if you, like you said, take away all the labels, I don't know. I think I'm just a girl who's here trying to figure out life, trying to get through really hard things while still trying to make sure no one sees kind of that you're going through hard things, because I don't want to make those people in those relationships in my life worry. So I don't know. I think I don't have it defined very well.
No, I mean, it's a tough question because a lot of things are built on labels, titles, the things that we go through in life, how we're defined, how other people see us. And I always think it's super interesting just, taking away the labels and the titles and the successes and the trials and tribulations. I believe I exist to lead with generosity and unconditional love, but follow with care and understanding. And that didn't just come to me, but that's something I thought about, like, why am I here, With that being said, we are here to edify you, talk about you, shine the spotlight on Hana, So, pivotal moments. What comes up when I say the word pivotal moments to you?
Like an event in my life, or I think, yeah, when you say pivotal moment, I think of an event that changed how I view like the world completely and how I go about life, like how I guess my mindset has completely switched. And that doesn't mean it switched in a positive way. Sometimes you have to switch it in a negative way first to know there's a problem. That's when I think of pivotal. I also think there can be really good pivotal moments, and that those bad moments can lead to kind of like an enlightenment in a sense, to like fall back and be like, oh, like something is like, I'm not the way I used to be, and I don't want to be this way. And it's like, how do I, what changes am I trying to make? Like, what am I battling? And I'm not being honest with myself, like, cause I'm not getting anywhere. Like I don't know. I guess it's like when you know, like it's time to change, like deep down. Like I think that's what I think of when I think of pivotal.
I love that. The definition of pivotal is a crucial point in something's success, a crucial turning point, and the thing is of crucial importance. And I'm like, how more significant could that be? Crucial importance. So I feel that on a deep level. If you could think back to the earliest moment in your life where you experienced your first pivotal moment, or the pivotal moment, I believe that we are always pivoting. I believe we have multiple pivots in our life. But what was kind of a first defining moment or pivotal moment for you?
There was, like you said, there's probably been a lot when I was younger. I just didn't realize them, or I wasn't aware they were pivotal in my life. There's a recent one of like in 2020, my mom passed away. So I think that is like, ever since then, like I said earlier, like my whole mindset has changed, and maybe it's not for the good. And that's what I'm trying to like work through. I think that moment just kind of made me step back and question literally every single thing I'm doing, just how I go about my relationships. Going back to that first question where you're like, how do you define yourself without those titles? That's what I'm trying to work on, because I think throughout my life, up until I experienced death, I think I was leaning so much into titles, into like school was so important to me, all of this. But then you realize, like, you work so hard for a degree, and then the one person you want there to see you like succeed is not. So it's kind of like you step back and you're like, okay, what do I really want out of my life? Because these titles and stuff, they don't matter at all anymore. So I think that's like the most dramatic pivotal moment so far. Hopefully it does not get worse.
It's like a roller coaster, right? It's like that's absolutely insane. And first and foremost, I commend you for your strength and sharing that. My father passed away, so I know how much that takes out of you to just speak on that 100%. So describe that mindset when you say that it may not have changed for the better, but maybe for the negative. Dive into that a little bit.
I think there's been like nights and days where you just kind of don't see the point in anything, and not in like a depressing sense. Well, also it's okay if it's depressing, because I feel like we fabricate like having to be positive all the time and having to always work hard, grind, like all of this. But like sometimes it's okay to like just really be going through it. And I think my mindset started to change when I didn't feel like anything was worth it. Like nothing was important. Like people would, like it kind of also sucks because I would have friendships that I kind of pulled myself back from, because my mindset would go to, oh, everybody's gonna leave you anyways. And it's very toxic, and it's just like everyday things. Like, I don't know, I just wasn't interested in anything. And then I still, like, I'm not gonna speak from a point of, oh, like I figured it out, because I haven't yet, and it's been almost like a year and a half. But I think also just knowing sometimes it gets really good, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm getting through this, and then you get a really, really bad day, it just comes out of nowhere. So you're just like, oh, okay. And I think that's what you have to learn. that's what I'm learning with my mindset. It's not gonna gradually improve. It's just gonna be like waves, and you just gotta learn. Like, I read this book on grief, and it was like, you just gotta learn how to, in a sense, take on those waves. And I think that's really cool. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yo, no, that's heat, that's fire. As you know, when my father passed away, I truly fell into that depressive grief stage. I felt like I had to step up. I'm the only man in the family now. My uncle's gone. I'm the only boy out of 4 sisters, and my mom raised us. And when you talk about grief and that how you stepped away from your relationships, that hit so hard, because when it comes down to it, the only thing that we have in common is being born and dying. That is it, you know. And when you really zoom out, every relationship that we have here on Earth, here on this planet, here in this time, this lifetime, will come to an end.
Yeah. It's hard to like kind of step back and realize that. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's like, how do we want to nourish those relationships while we can?
So let me ask you, what is your greatest expression of love?
I think time with someone. I think there's so many things, fabrications you can put on your relationships with people. There's so many gifts you can buy, so many well wishes you can send. Something else, after my mom passed, there were so many people who sent their condolences. And like, I understand sometimes that's all people can do. But the people who showed up at my house, brought my family food, took care of us for weeks, spent quality time, or not even, sometimes they would just drop things off and they knew we didn't want to be around anyone, but just showing up for someone. Because you can say you love someone, you could say like, oh, this is my best friend, I love my dad or brother or sister, and I don't know, I feel like some people don't really know, like, do you really love them? Because you won't even take like a day out of, I don't know, some people never see their families, never see their friends, and I understand we're all busy, but I think quality time,
Yo, I completely agree with you. I believe that when you decide to spend time and energy with someone, you're nourishing a relationship correctly, because you're spending the one thing that you cannot get back. And if somebody doesn't respect that, then there's no room for love in that relationship. I also believe my greatest expression of love is respect, which kind of throws the 5 love languages out the window. It's like, how can you say your greatest expression of love is respect? And I believe when you view something sacred, such as a relationship with your mother, with my father, with a best friend or cousin, sister, brother, whoever, cares about you, says that they love you, you respect that, you hold that in high regard, you treat it sacred, you view it differently, you hold it, you nurture it, you let it grow, you give it room to grow, and some people want that but won't give that to themselves, and the hardest part about doing that is literally giving it to yourself and able to freely and fearlessly give it outwardly.
Yeah, it's like, how do we nourish our own relationship with ourselves, but also continue to nourish those other external relationships? It's a very difficult battle sometimes.
So can we roll up the sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty? Please. Let's touch on grief. How do you, or did you, I say do you because I know that shit comes in waves. How do you, or did you, deal with that?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know how to deal with it, honestly. I think the best thing that I found is to spend time with my family and people who knew my mom and loved her deeply. And when we talk openly about, because sometimes people get kind of awkward to talk about someone who passed, but because they think oh, I'm gonna make you sad, but actually the sadness is always there. So you're not bringing up sadness, you're just, I don't know, just kind of making, when people say have their memory live on, and I think that's how I've been able to get through my grief, is with my aunt, my mom's sister, and sometimes even with my brother, we'll just, me and my brother try not to I guess show too much sadness around our family, because I think our family looks at us as the last piece of our mom, but we try to, even when me and my brother have just conversations with those people that were also deeply affected by the grief. But other than that, I don't know. I think just letting yourself be sad. I don't know. And if anybody figures it out, please let me know.
Yo, right? That's it. It comes. I feel like it for me, yo. When I suppressed my dad's death for a minute because I planned the funeral, I wrote the obituary, I did everything, you know, blah blah blah.
That's a lot to do. Yep, it's a lot.
Yo, it's, and then when I have all these relationships that are looking at me, like, what do we do next? Dad's dead, and I'm
it's
like,
another like weight on top of the weight you're already feeling with that grief. Yeah.
Yo, that's insane. I'm loving this conversation, by the way.
Nice.
We talk about moving and processing through grief. It makes me super curious for you. What does healing look like for you?
For what healing in general kind of looks like?
Well, just like, what does your healing look like from the things that hurt you, from the cuts, the pain, the scars and the wounds? How do you heal from it? What does that look like for you? How do you envision that? How do you see that? How do you embody that?
I think for healing, there's a version of myself I want to get to. The version of myself when my mom passed will never be anymore, but there was pieces of that girl that I want to bring into a future self, and I guess my healing is also, like, I get very angry sometimes because at my family, not that they have done anything, but there's so much grief and sadness that it turns into anger. Healing for me looks like not letting what is going on internally affect anyone else. Like my brother, every time I'm angry, he's like, I'm not taking it personally because I know you're going through stuff. And he's, my brother, shout out to Lant. He is one of the most understanding, because sometimes people look at you and they'll be like, oh, you're just an angry person. But no, it's just you're going through stuff. You don't know how to express it, and anger sometimes is the easiest way. And I think a healed version of myself wouldn't lash out on people who love me the most. And I think a healed version of myself would look at those really dark moments and not get so anxious or afraid, like, oh, I'm never gonna get better, because I want to look at those moments and be like, okay, this is part of this. Let's keep it moving. But I don't want to suppress my emotions to my family and friends, because I think I do that a lot. I'm a very happy person, I think, but sometimes people really don't know. There's a lot that I don't show because I don't know if I want people to remember me as super sad all the time, but it's also I don't know. I think that's why I'm struggling so heavily, is because when my mom first passed, that first year, I think I was okay. I thought I had accepted it and was just moving on. But this past year has been really, really bad. And I think that's because my body was just kind of no, you haven't even started to deal with this. They say there's the 5 stages of grief. And I think I'm still in the first one, which is denial, which I never thought I would be in that phase, because it's the facts are there, someone's not there anymore. But hopefully when I'm healing, I can get through those phases. Or I don't think you can ever get through those phases. I think I just want to learn how to deal with it better and open up to my family, probably.
Just the fact of that, I just want to know how to deal with it better. So nobody has it. There's no right or wrong. It's no right or wrong. It's what works for you is what works for you, and it's what gets you through it, as long as it's healthy and it doesn't affect anyone negatively around you, is what I truly believe. I believe there's 4 stages to healing. There's the acceptance, which is, of course, right, you gotta accept that the pain is there, and I believe that pain is the catalyst to growth. And once we accept that pain, see it, we have that awareness, we can move into action about doing something about it. The rediscovery, the seeing what works for me to help me maintain a positive attitude, to help me shift through these feelings that come up, when somebody says one thing about my mom or something like that.
How will I deal with that?
Dropping myself into the empathy of Yo, that's wild. What is the hardest thing to express for you when something like that comes up?
That I'm hurt. I think I also have a lot of pride, and I don't want to. It's not a prideful thing, like grief is not, but sometimes it's hard to those relationships that I had prior to my mom passing. Sometimes I think I pulled away from them because I would rather meet someone new who doesn't know that, who doesn't expect that past version of me. So I think that's my pride is kind of like, hold on, like pull yourself back, like don't show them that you're super sad. That's not how they remember you by. Like, you know, I think that's very hard for me to I don't know, get past. But even like with my, like I've never been, you can, like my cousin, she always says like, I don't even like hugs. Like I'm just not very like touchy and stuff. And I think I want to be, but I think just letting people in is the hardest part thing. So I don't know. It's pretty difficult to let people in to a side you don't really want publicly shown all the time. But I think it's also really important. Like even with my music, there's songs I've written that are very, very meaningful to me. But I think if they came out, it would be a whole new perspective on me. But also I think they would help people so much. People who are like dealing with loss. It doesn't have to be loss like a death, but just loss of someone from your life anymore. So.
Yo, I think it's almost equally as painful to lose somebody who's still alive, you know. It hurts just as much. I always say that pain is pain. It doesn't matter if you got cut on your leg and I got cut on my arm, but pain is pain. It still hurts. So how do you transmute that pain as being a loving soul going through this human experience? We're going to be hurt. We're going to deal with the ups and downs. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. So how do you transmute that pain into something that is ascending, you know, through your music? How do you really drop into that, feel that? Like, how do you transmute that? How do you alchemize it, I guess?
Also, really quick, I like how you said suffering is a choice. I like that because it's true. It's true. You can pull yourself out of hard places. How do I deal with that pain? I think, like you said, you touched on kind of my music, and I know it's like kind of cliche. I know singers always say that, but the reason I think that I deal with it through my music is because people talk about how journaling is really good for you, and I think that's the same way with my music. If I can get into words what I am feeling in my head, like just get that out, it's kind of just like this like darkness that I just want to like get on the paper, because then it kind of makes me realize like all my thoughts that are going crazy, when I get that into lyrics, I'm like, okay, like this, I can explain it better. Like I can calm down and realize like that's okay. Like they're just feelings. And I think like music has helped me tremendously, but I don't think it will help me until I release it the most. Release your art. I also saw this quote that said, "We're not perfectionists, we're just insecure." And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so true with me and my music. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think if you don't release that stuff, then what's the point? It's still in your head in a sense. But sometimes it's nice to just get stuff on paper. But I think music is how I try. If I didn't have music, I don't know. I would probably dive deeper into my relationships with my friends and family. I think that's how I would. Yeah.
I love the way that you put that, as in transmuting and alchemizing your pain through your music. You know, it reminded me of this place that I take my journaling to. It's called I call it dark frequency journaling, where when I feel that pain, I feel that grief, I feel that unforgiveness, those grudges, that anger. I believe that healing, forgiveness, is never complete until release. So you can say you forgive somebody, but then do you forgive them if you're still thinking about how it hurt you, or do you release that completely? And then that's when you step into unconditional forgiveness. You know, it's a hard thing to do. So it's really beautiful that how you can transmute your pain into your music, into your lyrics, and you go and sing your heart and put your and put your music into a place where you can look at it, hear your pain, and witness your growth.
That's what also helps too. Like literally, I had a friend. She's also a singer. She would tell me sometimes there's certain notes she couldn't hit because her body, there was so much, like a certain type of energy she had to like release, like those pains, those emotions. Then she told me like she had this experience where she was trying to hit this one note, she couldn't, it was pretty high up there, and she was like, it's because my body, it was like tense. And then I forgot what she said, what she did, but she was able to hit that after like coming to terms with herself and realizing like sometimes there's actual blockages in the body, and like that's why I'm like huge on like I love learning the science behind meditation and practices like those, because that's, like you said, you have to release that stuff, because your body, like even like number one cause like cancers or like anything, stress. And people don't realize how much they're mental but also physical, because everything, like we talked about earlier, everything is linked. So when you don't release that stuff, when you're holding that, like even when you're like very anxious, your body is literally telling you you're anxious. Your palms get sweaty, like your heart is racing. Like that's why I feel like people don't realize how important certain energies are. Sometimes people take like when we talk about energies, they're like it's just like a facade thing.
The woo, right?
Yeah, like no, like that stuff. Like how can you like what? Like,
the woo, the shit's real. I promise you.
Your body literally like creates like certain what is it called? Like certain glands activate, and certain like your different chakras. Shout out Dr. Joe Dispenza. You're Becoming Supernatural. Oh, I read Becoming Supernatural. I love that book. Oh, yes. Yeah, but I just think that stuff's really cool. There's literally a science behind it. That's why I find it really interesting, because.
Yo, you're absolutely right. And then when we harnessed pain, when we experience that, I truly believe that like you said, there's actual blockage to the energy. Everything is energy, and we are energy, and we're made of molecules. I mean, energy. You know, that's what we are when it comes down to the very base of it. And your throat chakra is blocked when you haven't processed things that want to come out. Your throat chakra will close up because you can't talk about it, because you haven't talked about it with your heart. You haven't talked about it with your energy, with your sacral chakra, with your solar plex chakra, like it down to the root chakra. Like it goes all the way down. And once it comes through the crown chakra, you can release through the throat chakra. It's so
you can feel it too sometimes. Like, have you ever wanted to say something, speak up for yourself, but you kind of hold back? You're like, this, my body, it's telling me this doesn't feel right.
Yo, even in the slightest bit, when you're talking about something painful, your voice, it'll crack.
Yes.
That's your throat chakra.
Yeah.
It's like, well, hold on, we're not ready for this.
Yeah. That's how you also know when people say if you're healed or not, when you can talk freely about a subject. And obviously, when I was talking about my mom, like I kind of hold back, but like I said, it's because I'm not healed from it. So.
And the beautiful thing is, I don't think we'll ever be healed. I think it's a straight cycle.
Yeah, it's a facade. Healing is not a facade. Like healed is a facade, but healing is real.
It's a cycle. I think I will be 60 years old healing for something that happened when I was 23 still. If I don't completely release. I think the most important thing that we can do as humans going through this human experience, navigating life, release. Nothing is ours. Release. Everything comes to an end. And, I always say, best case scenario, my partner and I go out notebook style. But either or, I'm going to have to agree with that relationship, or my partner's going to have to agree with that relationship, because I'm probably going to leave first, or she's going to leave first. And it's... what I have actually transmuted that horrible reality into dropping into the here and now, the right now. Yeah, right now. And it's you appreciate so much more when you know it's going to be gone one day.
Yeah, like I said, it goes back to the time thing. When you know time is so sacred, you don't put a rain check on everything anymore, because at one one day you're not gonna be able to put that ring check on there. So I think, yeah, staying in the present, which is very difficult sometimes, but that's the only thing that exists, literally right now.
Yo, it's so crazy because you can either stay in the present and choose to, you can stay in the present and choose to act as you always have, you know, as past version of yourself, or act as if who I'm going to be, as in stepping in the future version of yourself, which I'm huge on future self science, and that's what me and my mentor call it, future self science.
Self-science?
Future self science.
Okay.
Yeah, where you're cultivating a relationship with your future self. So my mentor was part of a study that they asked humans to think of a stranger and a certain part of the brain lit up, to think of themselves in a past life and a different part of the brain lit up, and then to think of themselves in the future, and the part that lit up was the stranger part, because they didn't have a relationship with the person that they're going to be.
That's interesting.
It's super interesting. So I made it a mission to change that, to start making awareness of that.
To connect, so like when you think of your future self, there's the part of the brain that lights up is not that stranger part. Is that the goal?
It's the part that knows thyself. Because everybody talks about knowing thyself,
yeah,
and
do we really
like,
know ourselves? Let's be honest.
You know, that's, I'm here to challenge. So that's what a lot of my focus is to help people step into who they're going to be. I understand what happened. We don't know why it happened. Maybe it was fate. Maybe it was destiny. But where are we going to go? I believe a great life is not by chance. It's by design.
When asking those whys, I feel like sometimes, like, what I've realized a lot is sometimes, like you said, you won't know why something happens, and you can go with everything happens for a reason, but there's certain things you can't apply that to, or I can't apply that to. Other people's experiences might be different, but I think just realizing it happened and what are we going to do about it? Like how you said, suffering is a choice. You can choose to suffer every single day, or you can choose to be like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. So what am I going to do?
Yo, I think it was Buddha. It was the great Buddha that said suffering is a choice, but it can't end. It can't end. And the Eightfold Path is what to release suffering. Susan Piver broke it down to even more simple, that everything dissolves. Life is suffering. The suffering can't stop, and that's by leading with love.
I like that. Everything dissolves. I like that.
Everything dissolves.
It's true. Things get easier to deal with because they're dissolving, in a sense. I never think about it that way.
Yeah, that's actually how I look at my relationships. As horrible as that sounds, but it's dissolving as time goes on. You know, the world doesn't wait on anybody. And a lot of people look at me like, Jay, you're so literal. And I was like, release the fear of losing something and release the hope of forever.
Attachment.
Yo, I'm telling you, like, live in that moment, and then that way, I don't believe life is about chasing happiness. I believe life is about processing emotions correctly.
Yep, I think that's how you get to happiness. People, you see these like all over Instagram, these quotes and stuff like, just chase happiness, like do this, blah blah blah. But you're right. It's the only way to truly be happy is to release those emotions that aren't making you happy. In a sense, I don't know. I think that is the only way, honestly. You can't just like chase towards something and then not deal with this stuff back here, like, because I don't know. Then you go back to that thing of not being true to yourself and not knowing your future self because you haven't dealt with those past emotions.
Yo, it's crazy. All this shit's linked, ain't it? It's so beautiful. Leads me to another question for you. If you could make a phone call to your future self, what would you say?
I would hope she would make a phone call to me. Like, is it? How's it going over there? I would tell her I am going to help you. Like, I'm trying to help you, in a sense. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna learn how to process things you never thought you would be able to. And I think, I don't know. Just be patient with me. Be patient. I think so. Tell my future self.
I like that. Be patient. Who is future Hana?
Someone who is more open to love in all sorts of relationships. I think I'm very closed off because I'm scared I'm going to lose whoever comes into my life, which, like we talked about, you will I think I want to learn, future me would learn how to love without being attached. And I think sometimes people rush to like the worst scenario that could happen in relationships with their loved ones. But if that were to happen, then okay, you deal with that once you get there. But I think we can't live this life of like, oh, what if this happens? What if he does this? What if she does this? Okay, that's fine. But right now they're not. And I think I want to learn that. Future me would know how to deal with that. And future me would be more optimistic, I think, and would meditate more, because I don't do that a lot anymore. And I think my whole mindset and how I acted with, like, connected with reality was so much better when I would meditate every day. And, but after going through something so traumatic, I kind of lost the meaning or the point of trying to improve myself, because I was like, oh no, like you try so hard to improve yourself, then something like knocks you down like 10 steps down. And I think future me would still continue with my habits, my daily practices, and yeah, just be more open, spend more time with people.
Yo, so that leads me to my next question. Jay don't take no breaks, dog. I'm telling you, I love it, because I love that answer. Right? So what steps are you taking today to make future Hana come true? I said Hana.
It's okay, everyone gets 3 strikes. Let's see. I think I'm starting to, how I talked about that pride thing, pull that back. And I think that's helped me a lot. And it's still not perfect, but pulling it back to apologize more, to be aware of my internal like suffering right now is affecting other people when I don't mean to. Like, I love those people so much and I lash out. And I think like learning to deal with that, and then also trying to strengthen relationships with people and getting out more. I think also that, because I think future Hana wants that. Like, there's a part of myself, like I hold back, like I mentioned, and I kind of seclude myself in my work, and I hide behind like those things. Like, I always blame my inability to like socialize, in a sense, because I am always burnt out from work, and I don't think I just use that as an excuse. Even when I was going through engineering school, I always used school as an excuse. Like, I don't want to go out. Like, really, it's just I had really bad anxiety, and I just didn't want to put forth the energy for those relationships. But I think for future me, like, she wants that. Like, I want that deeply. And there was a part of me when I would try to reach for more relationships, connect with people. And I think that's because that's the only way you can heal, in a sense, is to meet people who are going through or have been through similar things, and maybe they'll give you some insight, but there's no way to do that unless you like put yourself out there. So I think I'm trying to open myself up to more things and not second guess or think of the negatives of every opportunity or every social event. Like, it's okay to, I think people like look down upon like going to the bars or something like that. No, like, it's okay to just not work hard some days. I don't know, like, it's okay to just like, I don't know. That's what I would do. I think for my future self, she would want that.
Absolutely. And I definitely encourage you to remove the word try, because I mean, look at what you're doing right now. You're sitting here doing a podcast. You're doing that to take a step towards future Hana. You know, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, fam. Like, I'm proud of you. Like you're here. You're here. You're doing it. I believe that every action, every step, every decision that we make, we take a step closer to our future version of ourselves, whether that's the version that we painted or the version that our actions are deciding for us. So I love the awareness. I love that you know that you don't got to stay stuck in your pain, and that you can stand in your personal power. showing up is 80% of it. That's it. That's the other 20%. That's gonna come from trying. That's gonna come from the doing. But showing up, getting yourself there, getting yourself ready, getting yourself prepped, whatever it is, maybe the mindset, the heart shift, you know, however you got to get aligned, get connected, get focused, inspired. Showing up's the hardest part. After you show up, it's easy.
Or you'll figure it out, but you can't figure it out if you don't show up.
100%. When I say the words personal power, what does that mean to you?
Ooh, personal power. Confidence. I think for me, the most powerful people and the people I look up to have a confidence in themselves, or at least they don't let their insecurities kind of outweigh that confidence. I feel like sometimes we question ourselves so much and we want validation from others, but when you're confident in yourself, there's so much power to that. And even if you don't know like what you're doing or what you want to do, sometimes even faking it. And I think I don't know, I think working up to that confidence, I always say, like, if you ever find yourself being a hater, ask yourself, where am I lacking confidence? It's true, like stuff like that, like, and it's just very powerful. The most successful people sometimes, I think, don't show what they're afraid of all the time or their insecurities. And I think it's okay, it's good to show them, but there's power in like, have you ever seen someone talk about insecurity of theirs and they're like, and you're like, whoa, like I would have never thought that. Like, I don't know, some people don't like, I don't know, their height, I don't know, and like you're just like, whoa, I never thought that would be an insecurity, but now it's kind of taken away from that power of them. So I don't know, just I think confidence. Learning to love yourself completely, like as cliche as that sounds, like that is power, personal power, like just be accepting yourself.
Yo, 100%. Oh, I love that. That gets me excited. With that being said, I think I'm all out of questions. I think you passed.
Oh my gosh, yay. I got an A.
Yes. Please tell us what you got going on, what you got coming up, where can we find you, what's up?
I just came out with a new song. It's called Sip. Go check it out. It's not very deep, like it's not a very deep, meaningful song, but it's fun and it's a good song. Go check it out. Hopefully in the future, I'm really working on coming out with a pack of songs to kind of talk through my healing, in a sense that I kind of brought up earlier, just about grief and the dark parts of life. I think I need to touch on that in my music for sure, with versatility reasons. And that's what I have coming out. Music video for Sip is out now. Go check it out. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever you listen to music on. And Instagram at Hana Canhasi. Yeah, or Canhasi.
Yeah, spell that out.
So it's HANACANHASI.
There it is. Woo. There it is. Yo, thank you. One piece of advice for the listeners, if you had to take away from the conversation, everything, if you had to compact it, what would you tell listeners to take with them?
I think to just, as like, I don't know, I think you just don't take things just very seriously, in a sense. And I say that and I take everything seriously, but like at the end of the day, like I've been starting to say this to myself a lot, what's the best that could happen? I think our minds always go to what's the worst that can happen, but start thinking in terms of what's the best that could happen. And don't be afraid to just like, I don't know, like express yourself in a sense. If you want something, if you want to reach out to someone, reach out to them. Who cares? What's the best that could happen? You know, worst that could happen is they say no. But I think we, especially as I'm trying to propel, like in my music, I've realized a lot of people sometimes are scared to do things. And I don't know, like why? Our life is so short. There's only so much time we have. Yeah, so just do it. just do it.
Just do it. Nike, sponsor me.
This is sponsored.
Please.
No, literally, please.
Yo.
Yeah, and live life.
Live life. Live life.
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love, right? It's you can find it somewhere else. No.
I love that.
Man, thank you for coming, sharing your heart, sharing your truth, sharing your wisdom, stating your personal power, and getting outside your comfort zone.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate this, and I was excited to get this out. It's a step towards healing.
There it is, a step towards healing.